Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Just Go With It. Today, we're going to be talking about my favorite game of all time, uh, Alan Wake, which I have made Ben play through, and now I'm very nervous to hear his thoughts because I have not heard them yet. So, get into it. Tell me what you thought of the game and the story and everything.
I've been holding on to this for about a week now. Well, less than a week. Whenever I finish
hmm
playing it, and I don't know. I don't know how to express this
I'm scared.
without offending you.
No! No! What are you
Okay,
gonna
okay, okay.
say?
Hold on. I think it suffers from being an older game.
Okay.
I think that's what's doing it for me. It was fun for like the first hour to maybe three, and then it was just the same thing over and over and over, running through more woods, fighting the same guys. It was just the same thing. If they
hmm
did like more Resident Evil, how it's also like a survival shooter kind of thing, you actually got more and more upgrades. That would have been great. This if they like completely Resident Evil this game, it would be top tier.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it could have been that.
hmm
Um, but it just felt really repetitive to me, and that's why even like in the playthrough, I'm just like, oh, I gotta finish this. Oh, I'm so sick of it. I literally say I'm tired of this. Like, I
Yeah.
got so sick of it. I mean, the story, the story was hard to follow. Like, it was and it wasn't. The story is summed up into like, oh yeah, stories become reality in this town, and that's the story. There's nothing else to it. Like that. That's just what happened. Like, there's no like extra. That's it. Like, that's what happens. And your face, and I see you thinking about it, and you're realizing that yeah, that is the story, and that's all the story is, and stuff just happens around that. And now you're like looking at me like I'm wrong, but I know I'm not.
Because you are and you aren't. Like there is more to it because it's the
Okay, enlighten
story
me.
of like, a writer who's trying to find where the heck his wife went. And it's not really clear at the I like the
So
ambiguity
it
of
never
the
gets
ending.
resolved. So it's a
Well, I like that.
non-story.
I like that. Like, is he stuck in this reality now? And the DLC,
Yes,
I
he
think,
is.
adds to it a lot, because it answers that and it shows like where he's at. And like Barry coming back and being like a not real, like a nightmare version of himself, just to be there to taunt Alan and like to have his friend in that reality, but to be a version that's just like taunting him and like, not being the friend that he had.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like there are things I really love about this game. And I think it's the fact that it was like the first, I have a lot of God, what nostalgia with the game. I played it when I was younger and it was like the first like serious game I played through besides like Lego games and Minecraft and other stuff like that. Like this was like the first like sit down story game where it like felt real. And I don't know, just I guess it is that nostalgia factor for me. But I really do like the universe. I like the idea of this nightmare story comes to life and, you know, he lost his wife to it and he had to find a way to get her back and now he's stuck there. Because
This
I haven't
game,
played the other ones. I
yeah.
don't know. Like I haven't played American Nightmare. I haven't played Control. I know that kind of gets into it a little bit. And I haven't played Alan Wake 2 yet, which I'm very excited for because all the reviews have been amazing for that.
You've played Quantum Break.
Quantum Break doesn't count. I don't like Quantum Break.
Okay. Okay. I think I have a good analogy as to what this game is. It's like a road trip. Road trips can be very long and very tedious unless you have lots of fun sort of pit stops or side attractions planned along the way. There wasn't enough good stops along the way. Like they were good, like there's your start, end, and there's a couple, but not enough to keep me hooked and keep me interested. I think that's why I got so bored. Not that it was a bad road trip, but it just wasn't enough to do.
Yeah,
Again,
because there isn't a lot, you know.
I'm
Not,
running through
not
the woods like 6 different times. I'm like,
especially when you ignore the coffee thermoses, Ben. You could have had fun picking those up. I watched
whoa.
like 2 hours of your stream, and I was on there for 2 hours of it. But like seeing you like just ignore the coffee thermos and like the other stuff, I was like, oh my god, like why
I
is
did
he
that
getting the
just because of
pointless
you.
collectibles?
I did that
They
just because
mean
of you.
nothing, but
Here's the thing: I would collect them if I knew I could actually find them all.
yeah,
That's why I don't bother with collectibles anymore, because I know I'm not going to find them all. So why bother? I'm just going to feel stupid.
yeah,
But yeah, that's how I feel about that game. I felt like it just not enough content in the middle. Like it's just it's like it was like beginning, middle, end, and like not enough in between those sort of pit stops. So I don't know.
I know it's still my favorite game. I'm disappointed, but I also understand. You know, like there
Yeah,
is like going back and playing through it, it's not as perfect and wonderful as I remember, but I
and it,
still love it a lot because of the nostalgia factor.
and to be fair, it does suffer from the fact that I'm playing it in 2024. We have games like God of War, or like all these other crazy games who don't have that problem, and I'm now spoiled with those like high quality, super great story throughout the whole thing games. And I got this, which is very much more bare bones. If I played it, 10 years ago or something like that, I might have enjoyed it more, but I didn't. I played it
Yeah,
last week. So
yeah.
I think that's just the nature of it, playing it this late in the game.
Well, I gotta say, I am really excited for us to both play through the other ones together because I'm gonna make you do that. And
I'm not American Nightmare. I'm looking forward to play it with you. I'm not looking forward
uh-huh.
to playing it. Because
Okay,
apparently it's worse. It's more
really?
arcade-y. Yeah, it's not as serious.
Okay,
And it's more actiony, arcadey. Like there's a
okay.
lot more weapons and all that kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's not
I'm
like as super
curious
serious.
because I know it has to do with Mr. Scratch some, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that he's a really cool idea. You know, like to have this like alternate version of yourself who's like, you know, evil. I like that idea. So
I am
I'm
excited to
I'm
see what the new one is like, though,
yeah, I've heard
and
great
Control.
things.
Like
I wanted to play Control.
I've
Yeah.
seen a couple. I've seen a little bit of like game footage of Control, and just as a game, it seems a lot more fun because it's more RPG y.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'm excited. We'll have to see.
Well, I'm very nervous to ask this question, but what would you give it?
Oh, that's a hard question. I don't have that nostalgia factor, dude.
I know, I know, I know.
I don't have that, sort of respect for it because I'm sorry, but as a game, a standalone game by itself, it's something you'd buy at like the bargain bin for like $5. So maybe a 4. And which is
Well,
funny because I rated House of Ashes more than that.
yeah. What the heck?
Well, House of Ashes, different stuff actually happened, and it wasn't 10 hours long. House of Ashes was like 4 hours or something.
I understand. Okay, I understand. It's whatever. I'm gonna give it. After all my thoughts and after all my like, this conversation,
10 out
I'm
of
gonna
10,
give it.
right? No.
No, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Okay, and that's being generous because I used to always give it a 10. I used to literally give this game a 10, but playing through it again this time, I do feel where it slacks, and maybe that is
It's
because we
not
are spoiled
aged.
with games
Yeah.
like Spider-Man and other stuff like that. Like it's
It's
just
not
like
aged well. It's not
yeah,
aged well.
yeah, it's taken its toll. But I am very excited to get back into this universe with Alan Wake 2 eventually.
Mhm. I mean,
Like,
it's a
oh my
360
gosh,
game. It's what,
yeah,
2 generations old at this point?
yeah, it
So
is.
yeah, it's
It's
not new
aged,
by any means. Yeah.
yeah. But until then, we're just gonna have to go with it.